but I want you to know, as an entrepreneur, this was the reality that I had to go through.
I am something. I cover up the truth. I hide what you want me to hide. But eventually, I make you shine beyond your imagination. What am I? The next person I'll be calling up is a lawyer turned beauty entrepreneur. She's the founder and current CEO, House of Tara International, who started the trend of bridal makeup profession in Nigeria. She's a pace setter in that regard. In a series of firsts, she launched the first bridal directory in Nigeria in 1999. She set up the first makeup studio in 2004 and established the country's first makeup school in 2005, launched the Tara product line and hosted Nigeria's first makeup conference in 2014. She has empowered over 8,000 young ladies with Tara Beauty Entrepreneurs Initiative that makes them economically independent while building their entrepreneurial skills for national transformation. House of Tara has become a national brand with 26 branches and over 155 employees and presence in most major cities across the country, with distribution channels in Kenya, Rwanda, and with a plan to expand to other cities in Africa, Europe, and North America. Under her leadership, House of Tara Business Case Study was researched and written by Stanford University and currently being used by Ivy League institutions. She has reached several national and international awards for her contribution to the industry and active role in entrepreneurship and empowerment. The most recent being the Most Outstanding Businesswoman of the Year 2018 by the African Economy Builders Awards. That's the African Economy Builders Award, African Makeup Icon by Ghana Makeup Awards, the Inspirational Woman of the Year 2016 by the First Lady of Lagos State, and Leadership Award for Entrepreneurship by Harvard Business School Association of Nigeria 2016. In 2017, she was invited by the Minister of Finance for the UWIN Advisory Board. She sits on the advisory board of Bridge International Academies, which is the world's largest education innovation company, with a chain of schools, and So Fresh Neighborhood Markets Limited, Nigeria's #1 and fastest growing healthy food chain. She's an alumni of the Lagos Business School Chief Executive Program, INSEAD, that's INSEAD, Abu Dhabi, the Stanford Seed Transformation Program, and the Harvard Kennedy School, having completed the Global Leadership and Public Policy in the 21st century. She was recognized by the World Economic Forum as a young global leader in 2013, Forbes' list of 20 young, powerful women in Africa, Choiceful Institute of France, top 100 young African business leaders under 40 in 2014. She's happily married to FELA Durotoye and is blessed with 3 sons. Ladies and gentlemen, make welcome the CEO, House of Tara International, Tara Durotoye.
I would like us to first of all give a standing ovation to Mama Elegant Twins for what she's done for the beauty industry in Nigeria. Standing ovation, round of applause, round of applause, round of applause. Mommy, we appreciate you. Thank you. I can't hear you. Do you want to get to my age? Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much. Thank you. It's one of my greatest desires is to build a business that can last long. A lot of Nigerian businesses don't last that long. Am I correct? You find that even when the people are still alive, at the age of 50, you start a business in the 40 years ago, and then it's still half of your life and it still continues. That is the kind of thing that we need to see more in Nigeria as a country. I don't know how many of you remember Tandy Gurana, right? But it's disappeared. You know, Concord Airlines, you know, so many of these brands that were brands that we knew as children no longer exist, especially the ones that are owned and founded by Nigerians. And that needs to change. So as beauty entrepreneurs who are building businesses, I want you to be mindful of the fact that Nigeria needs you. Nigeria needs you. Nigeria needs you to provide jobs for people. So as you're building your business, don't be so motivated by just sales. Be motivated by building an institution that can last long. Be passionate enough to say, it's not just about, you know, paying my bills, but building something that is sustainable. Okay, so they want me to talk about my journey so far as an entrepreneur. I hardly do presentations with slides, but I will try today to do so. This was my first bridal job 20 years ago. The bride was the daughter of the chief of naval staff. Then we didn't used to use makeup brushes. Can you see the puff? The foundation puff. At this time, I was a law undergraduate. I was still in university. I started while I was still in school. And people always ask, how did you really start? And it's really, many times we have the resources that we need around us. And if we don't look closely, we may miss out on it. And I had the resources, I had the people who were getting married, I had the sisters of people who were getting married, but I also had a skill, which was to do makeup for people. But what did I do? I engaged my classmates to say, do you know anyone who's getting married? Many times they say to me, oh, my neighbor is getting married. And I got my first bridal job with this lady who was getting married, but I think also I was lucky that she was the daughter of the chief of naval staff, which also meant that it positioned my business to be exposed to that social class, but also to the number of young women who were on her bridal train. She was in the University of Lagos at that time. I started with 15,000 naira. 15K. We normally put, that was a good place to clap now. With 15,000 naira, you start and you continue to grow. Come on. And I put $100, obviously it's an old presentation. At the time, 15,000 naira was $100, but that was the ages in our last life. But I started with 15,000 naira, which is obviously much more than that now. But with a big dream. And the big dream was just to build a business. I wanted to build a business that was solid. I was very enthusiastic about being a successful entrepreneur. And I put my energy and my passion into it. Doing business in Nigeria now is very tough. This was the bride on her engagement day. Can you see my size? Did you notice my size? How tiny I was? I was actually quite cute, even if I have to say it myself. Okay. But with that dream, that, you know, I always say to people who are entrepreneurs starting up, when you have a big dream, don't be so fixated with looking for bank loan, right? Sometimes we get so fixated with looking for bank loan that we don't even start. A lot of banks will support you if they don't say that you put your money where your mouth is. You come to someone and say, come and give me money to invest in my business. What have you, your own money have you put in there? If you believe so much in the business, why haven't you put your own money down? And people say, I don't have the money. I feel that's a mindset, there needs to be a mindset shift. When you think about, when you say to yourself, I don't have the money, you won't have the money. When you say to yourself, let me begin to look. We spend a lot of money on weaves. We spend a lot of money on clothes. For those of us who are women, how many times have you said, let's set some money aside. I'm working somewhere. How do I put some money aside from the business, from the place I'm currently working, where I can save and then bring that money to invest? Before the bank will give you money, they want to see track record. Track record of banking your sales. Track record that says that your business is actually generating revenue. Banking your money, taking the money, putting it in the bank. Every time you sell, you put it in the bank as opposed to spending it from the purse. These are some of the disciplines that can help you to translate your big dream into a reality. I was disciplined. It was hard, it was very difficult. I remember going to a client's house and I'm going to the taxi. And she said, don't you know, I had a car. I had a small, what they call Toyota First Lady. I don't know how many people remember it. It's like a hatchback, right? Very small, quite cute. I was very proud of that, my small car. Bought it maybe 200,000 or so. And I went to this client's house and she said, with your celebrity status now, the thing about starting a business like makeup artistry, where you're doing makeup for all these celebrities, at a time where we didn't have so many makeup artists, right? So it made it seem as if I was a celebrity, even though whatever that means. But that's how it seemed, because I was constantly in the space of, you know, the elites, the daughter of the governor, the president's wife, and all of that. And she saw my car and said, with this your celebrity status, see the kind of car that you are driving. And at that time, her response to me, it was almost like a yap. Am I correct? And as entrepreneurs, you will get yaps. But you have to be brave enough to know what your dream is and know where you are headed and not be discouraged by what people say. What she was trying to say was, she was giving me, what's that thing, shade? She was throwing me shade, isn't it? And the shade was to say to me, you are bigger than this car. But my response to her was, the money for my car is in the generator I have bought. You know, I was trying to explain that doing business in Nigeria is tough. The lady who was talking about the export trade didn't tell us about the difficulties it will have to go through. For us who want to export our brands, what sort of difficulties we will experience. She didn't talk about that. And I was hoping that we'll have a Q&A session, she's left already, where we can actually engage her to tell us, because it is not easy. And that's why many times we spend money on a generator that we should have spent on increasing our product line. So at the time when she was yapping me about this car, I had money to buy a nice car. But could I have invested in a car? I know that if I invested in that, buying a car was not an investment at that time. Buying a Jeep or a nice looking car was not an investment at the time. What was an investment was a generator. That is one of the things somebody who's doing business in America will never spend money on. And you know, with generator, it's not as if it's a one-off asset you're buying. You're also buying diesel every day. And then every month or so, you have to do maintenance. And the day that the thing breaks down, they call the mechanic, generator mechanic to come and fix it. And over again, the money is going down the drain. This is our reality, and I want you to know that as an entrepreneur, this was the reality that I had to go through. But I decided, and this is one of the things you talked about, the resilience of Nigerians. We are resilient. There are times we will break down, and I want you to know you will break down. But be focused on the fact that I have a big dream. Nigeria is not going to kill me of my dream. You have to be determined. When people ask me, how have you survived this last 20 years? I say, the thing we won't kill me, nothing kill me. But that is a perception that you have to create for yourself before you leave your house. To say, regardless of what I'm going to be faced with. I remember the days, I think when it was the days of Fashola or before Fashola, where we had these problems with taxes, multiple taxes. Right? As a small business, they come, they'll say your signage needs this, they will say you need to pay this, and they were over and over again, bills upon bills upon bills. But the question for me was, how was I going to expand my business? Okay? Now doing makeup is good, people are paying for the service, is great, but is there anything else you can do? And that's what we talk about when we begin to expand our product offerings. Okay? So I started the first makeup school, and the reason why was obviously because there was interest, but it was an income generating line for me as a business. So in our business today, we're doing something. What else can we do within that business? Okay? So I started doing bridal makeup. But people will say to me, Tara, I want to learn how to be a makeup artist like you. That threw up an opportunity. What was the opportunity? What was the opportunity? To train other people. And that's how the school was birthed. But the school was birthed with also other problems. Okay? My students needed products that they would use to practice. In the Nigerian market, there were no makeup brushes. There were no makeup boxes. If I am a makeup artist and I want to charge for my profession, there's a way I have to present myself, okay? I was a lone star, but had my makeup box because I had access to buy a makeup box from abroad. I also had makeup brushes. But my students were being trained, but they were like, I need to use brushes. Whose brushes do they use? They're using mine. What does that mean? What does that mean? It's time to steal it now. So they will take it with them because there's no way I want to become a professional makeup artist and I will not have makeup brushes to do my job. And then I want to charge me for it, as opposed to when I see Tara has brushes, she has a box. That was a problem. They were stealing my brushes. The students were frustrated because they also wanted to go home and practice, but I couldn't give them my brushes. But there lied an opportunity. And what was the opportunity? To start a makeup brush line. So this was my first makeup studio in Victoria Island. So Kumbo Shedu and I met here many years ago. I think when I had my first child, it's probably 16 years old now. Can you see the store? Very small. It was the boys' quarters of a building in VI. Boys' quarters. I converted it into a studio. And I remember my mother walking into this place when I first wanted to start renovating. And she said to me, so what are you going to do with this place? I said, I will renovate it. When she came back and saw my renovation work, she said, you don't build house, 3-bedroom for somebody. And from the Niger Delta, so we speak a lot of pidgin English. And for her, that's what she was saying. She was saying I'd invested in somebody else's property. I did it because I wanted my customers to have an experience of a nice clean studio that they could walk in. When the signage of this store was put up, and I turned my back and looked at it and saw it, I cried. I cried because I saw my brand name for the first time on the store outdoor, and it moved me. And it was a very emotional experience. Today, House of Tara has maybe 27 or 29 stores across Nigeria. But it's nice to remember the humble beginning, right? So for those of you who are opening your first store, I'm sure you will be doing something bigger than this in this season. Amen? All right. And so the makeup school started, but there was an opportunity. There was this difficulty, and there was an opportunity. You see, I was so fixated with the problems. Oh, I don't want to train people anymore, because every time they come here, they steal my products, right? Oh, they steal my brushes. I not realized that there is actually a need. And that was how I started looking for, how can I begin to buy and sell makeup brushes? Okay? So if you have access to go abroad, and they don't have access to go abroad, or they cannot go abroad because of makeup brushes, why don't you buy and then resell? Now today when you go to the market, you see brushes all over the place. That wasn't the case. So I had to bring them in from England, but they were expensive. You see, they were expensive for somebody who was starting for the first time, especially because they were coming from England, which meant I was buying them in pounds sterling. So I couldn't really make money on it, but at least my students were now having makeup brushes. But then as I sat in my office one day, I realized that there's a guy who always comes to my office to handouts. You know, there's a famous author, Mike Udoh, that says you're only 3 people away from the person you're looking for. So this guy, in quotes, was a nuisance. Because every time he comes to VI, and he needs to go for an appointment, and the person he is going to see, he does not see the person, he will now come to my office, come and to do what? Sit down, hey, wait. While he's there, you eat your love fries. You know, disturb me. But I didn't realize that this relationship was in mine, was a fruitful ground that I could benefit from. And he started to tell me one day that, oh, his Chinese visa has almost expired and he has not yet used it, he's feeling bad. It just occurred to me, you know, you can actually produce these makeup brushes in where? China. Aha. But I've been looking at this guy and thinking, so I asked him, I said, where did you get your Chinese visa from? He said, oh, he has this Chinese couple who live in Lekki Phase 1. And he can actually introduce me to them. I just had a newborn baby at the time. So all those women that think that because you have children, then your life has come to an end, it's a lie. You carry the baby on the back and do what? Continue. So I did that. Went to the couple's house. When I arrived there, you know, Chinese women, they're only allowed to have 1 child. So they're very fascinated at that time. Are fascinated to see children. So they saw my baby, they were so fixated with this baby. Oh, so cute, so cute. So I said, that's not what I came here for. I came here I'm looking to make makeup brushes in China. The guy who they brought to serve my juice, after I left, called me and said, your business is too small. for this Chinese couple because they are big entrepreneurs from China, bringing in, importing shoes, footwear from Aba to Kaduna to Reri and what have you. But you know what? I am about to go back to China. I want to go and start my life. We can start to do business together. So he said, what do you want? And I said, I want samples. I'm saying this story to inspire someone because the person you're looking for is around your space. What you're looking for in Sokoto is inside your Sokoto, right? And that was how this Chinese young man said, I will do the samples for you. And he did samples of makeup box and a set of makeup brushes. Because I need that picture of the first makeup brush in this slide next time. And immediately he sent it to me. They brought it to my bed. I don't know how many people have bought it, but when the first time you buy a car, you know that night you won't sleep. Then in the morning, when you finally sleep, you wake up and go and check whether the car is still there. Correct. That's exactly what happened to me. So my bed had the makeup brushes and the box, and I slept on that bed with two of them there because I couldn't believe I had this product with my name on it. But you know what's also interesting? We did the launch of the makeup brushes in this same store. And people came, and the first question they asked me was, we thought there would be powder and lipsticks. Not just brushes. So I wondered, were Nigerians ready for a Nigerian brand? I thought we only liked international brands. I thought we hated anything made in Nigeria or a Nigerian brand. We only liked international. But here it was, my consumers were beginning to train me. And there are times your consumers are going to be training you to tell you what they need. Can we pay a little bit more attention on what the consumers are saying so that we can respond swiftly? And we created, that was how the Tara, then we call it Orekelewa. The Tara Orekelewa brand was created. But remember, I have contacts in China, okay, with the makeup brushes. So I went back to them and I said, oh, I want to now do products. The guy said to me, you've not finished selling your brushes. You want to now add makeup to it. Do you know how much volume you will have to have? And that's where we go back to dreaming big, but starting small. With those my makeup brushes and my boxes, I checked how much money do I have in stock and how can I move this stock faster so I can generate money and start my product line. And I had to think about who else will buy my makeup boxes other than makeup artists? Who else will be willing to buy my makeup brushes? You remember the brushes were only made for professionals. Very soon, I started to introduce my consumers to my customers, the overall customers, to the makeup brushes. Because now, the customers saw, you do makeup with brushes, why do we do it with our own hand? We want to use brushes. And I started to market it strategically to not just makeup artists, to every customer. So I can proudly say that I influenced the use of makeup brushes in Nigeria as a whole. So today, there's hardly anybody who has a makeup brush that doesn't have brushes in it because it's now part and parcel of the idea. But you see, there was another challenge. When you go to China and you produce volumes. You have to do so many quantity, okay? And they told me, madam, for you to produce here, every color you do has to be 5,000 pieces. First of all, and Nigerians, I first of all was wondering whether Nigerians were ready, okay, for a Nigerian brand. But I realized they are ready. But where are they? And how can I reach them? And I think Ada is going to be talking about our distribution channel later on. But this was the idea of our first distribution channel. That is the Tara Beauty Initiative. There are many people here. Is there anybody who's a Tara Beauty rep? Okay, thank you. Wait. Thank you very much. Right? Some of you may have been also earlier, and then you grew your businesses from there. Now we are over 15,000 beauty reps across Nigeria who sell Tara products. From a challenge, we found an opportunity to empower young women. Today is my pride. They always tease at House of Tara that my beauty reps are like the most important part of the business for me. I absolutely love them because it gives me an opportunity to impact lives, to train because I love to train, and to see women become all that they can be. Not just to make money, but to become nation builders, to become very passionate about family life, and also be very passionate about growing their businesses. If you get the chance, please watch our 100 Voices video. It's online on YouTube. House of Tara 100 Voices, watch it and hear the stories of many of these young women who've become financially empowered to the extent that they've grown, started their own businesses, grown their business over years, supported their families because of this initiative. It's one of the things I'm most proud of at House of Tara. So yes, we won multiple awards. This was one of the awards in South Africa. This award is also tied to a very emotional story about staff betrayal. And for those of us who are entrepreneurs, you're going to experience it, where you feel betrayed by things that people who you've invested in have done to you. I don't have the time to talk about that story, but it's special because it's tied also to this award in South Africa. If you watch some of my videos, you will hear the story and learn from it, because there's also a power to forgive and grow when you have some of these challenges. When House of Tara turned 10, we created the Be Inspired fragrance was launched as a way, yet again, to re-emphasize the fact that we're still in business and we're not going anywhere. Okay? And so we opened our first branch in Ikeja. The question is, how did our first branch? I told you, I showed you the picture of that store in VI. From there, we then moved to a top building in Victoria Island. But our landlord was always increasing our rents every year. And one day, I just said, you know what, I can't do this anymore, I'm moving. And I need to move to somewhere cheaper. And we decided to move to Ikeja. But before we did that, yet again, paying attention to your customers, I decided to do a short survey. And the survey showed to us that our customers, 50% of our customers were willing to go to Ikeja, and 50% were willing to stay with us in Victoria Island. The question for me was, what does that mean? How do I interpret that data? And what that data said to me was what? Was what? Are you people here? You slept. Am I boring? You have to listen to my whole presentation. I'm not coming down. What it said to me was it was time to open a second branch, and that's how we opened in Ikeja. We're still in that same location since 2008 till now, and it's one of our most it's very busy. It's a very busy branch. So we're in Abuja, Surulere, and that's how we began to grow and 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 grow. And then we started to franchise the business name, and it wasn't because it was a brilliant business idea, it was because somebody sold it to me. They wanted to open the first franchise in Ibadan. I was inspired by that, learned from the experience, and realized that in franchising, you're not just franchising a name, you're franchising a retail system. If you get the chance to go through my structure class, you'll learn more about that. This is the House of Tara story. I hope it's inspired you, and I look forward to seeing more Nigerian brands grow to become global. Thank you.